Right, because at the time of the offense, the girl was 13 and you were 21.
I believe so.
And so when you were convicted the first time and were afforded some relief, I guess, through probation,
Yes, ma'am.
you went right back.
Yes, ma'am. The two charges I've ever been charged with is the same victim.
The little girl, because that's what she was at 13, was a victim in this case. Why do you feel? Tell me why what you did was wrong.
I feel as it was wrong because at first when I met her, I really didn't know, and then
Let me stop you right there, Mr. Rao. You know, a 13-year-old girl, I don't care how mature she acts,
yes, ma'am.
there's indication that you're dealing with somebody who's very immature.
Yes, ma'am. And I was immature.
And so where you were going is you were about to blame her for maybe telling you that she was older.
And you didn't hear that wrong. You just can't make this up. So he is caught doing it with the child, right? Now the judge says, don't worry, I'll give you probation because it's just a child. It's not a big deal. And what's he do? He gets out and he goes right back to the same child. Less than a year later, a few months later, he's right back there. Can you even imagine? Now he gets sentenced maximum of 7 years, and it's 6 years into that sentence, and he's up for parole. Now, I'm going to share some interesting updates with you about this case in the unpacking at the end. But for now, let's jump in.
This is the case for Gage Rao, DOC 701-092, classified as a second felony offender. All offenses: carnal knowledge of a juvenile, sentencing date, June 22nd, 2015, revoked February 25th, 2016, February 26th, 2016, sentenced to 4 years, DOC suspended, 2 years probation, revoked 4 years DOC. Parole date is January 20th, 2019. Good time is not eligible, and full term is July 19, 2022. Is this information correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Renassa.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Rao. My name is Cheryl Renazza. Your case is assigned to me, and so I'll start the interview process with you and ask you some questions. So, Mr. Rao, what is your age?
I'm 27 now.
Okay, and you, how long you been in jail?
I've been in jail 6 years now, ma'am.
6 years. And the victim in this case, you have 2 sex offenses, right?
Yes, ma'am. It was same victim.
Same victim. And I think in the letter from the district attorney in opposition to an early consideration for early release for you, indicates there's another victim in another sex offense?
Not
Another underage victim?
No, not that I know of. The two charges I've ever been charged with is the same victim.
All right. So Tim, and there's an indication in the record that you may have completed some sex offender treatment.
Yes, ma'am.
And how many phases of that program did you complete?
They assigned me to do 1 through 3.
1 to 3?
Yes, ma'am. 1, 2, and 3.
Okay. That was at Bayou Dorchey?
Yes, ma'am.
So what did you learn from that program?
I mean, I really learned to really, I guess, feel bad for what I did, and I learned, not.
What do you mean you feel bad?
You know what I'm saying? Not really feel bad. It really, I don't know, it made me feel like I was doing something wrong, but you know, I mean, I'm very remorseful for what happened. You know, I mean, it wasn't like, I don't know. I feel as they got a lot worse people out there, you know, and I mean, I feel like
Well,
I know I messed up, you know, and I understand that now by going through that class, because I at first I didn't feel like I messed up, but now after the program, it showed me where I went wrong.
where'd you go wrong?
Uh, you know, just hanging around the wrong crowd and letting underage people be around me.
Right, because at the time of the offense, the girl was 13 and you were 21.
I believe so.
And so when you were convicted the first time and were afforded some relief, I guess, through probation,
Yes, ma'am.
you went right back.
Yes, ma'am.
And so until you took this program, you didn't realize that was wrong,
Yes, ma'am.
even though you knew it was illegal.
The second time, yes, ma'am, I did, but the first time I didn't know.
So what's your level of education, Mr. Rao?
I'm actually going to Ashland University right now. I'm in college, and I
Good.
have 4 semesters under my belt. My first 3 semesters, I'm on the dean's list.
Good. That's good to know. Do you have any contact with your victim now? Have you had any
No, ma'am.
since
No,
you've been to
ma'am.
jail?
No, ma'am.
So I've already mentioned to you that the DA's office is opposed to favorable consideration for you. And there's other opposition that's also been expressed by the victim's family. So why do you believe that we should vote favorably for you today?
Well, ma'am, I'm really ready to close this chapter of my life and really start to learn how to be an adult now, because I mean, I really didn't know what I was doing whenever I was out. So I mean,
So have
I
you
don't know.
given any thought to how to do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Share that
my
with us.
my father passed away right when I got locked up, and then my mom is paralyzed now from some she says a cyst ruptured around her spine, and my mom doesn't have anybody. The only person that she does have is me. And you know, I really feel as though I can get it. You know, I got it. I understand how to conduct myself as an adult now, and I have my grandparents and my aunts and them. They own their own businesses, and I feel as though I can have a job lined up the day I if I'm out eligible to go home. Even if I don't get it today, when I do step out the door, I will have something and someone to help me and to get everything going.
Where did you live at the time of the offense? Were you living alone, or where were you living?
I was living in a trailer park in Bayou Blue with me and my brother.
Okay. Where's your brother now?
I think he's incarcerated now, ma'am.
Okay. So your plan would be to live with your mother.
No, my plan is to be on my own, but eventually get a big enough house to or somewhere to live to where my mom can move in. But right now she's actually in the hospital right now.
Okay.
She has MRSA. I don't
Okay.
know if you know what that is or not.
Mm-hmm.
But my grandma, my emergency contact, she's actually trying to find me a place to go right now, because apparently her house, it wouldn't work. So she's,
Yeah, you got some real challenges because of your charges of, where you can live and
yes,
such.
but I'm ready to bring them on. I'm doing school. I learned that I'm not dumb, and and I feel as though I want to try, and I'd like to start a little earlier than later.
All right, well, I'm just going to sit back and listen to my colleagues, Mr. Rao. I don't have any other questions.
Good morning, Mr. Rao. I hope it's still not, good afternoon, Mr. Rao.
Good afternoon.
I'm Bonnie Jackson. I'm on the panel deciding your case, and I have some questions I'd like to ask you.
Yes, ma'am.
The little girl, because that's what she was at 13, was a victim in this case. Why do you feel, tell me why what you did was wrong?
I feel as it was wrong because at first when I met her, I really didn't know, and then
Let me stop you right there, Mr. Rao. A 13-year-old girl, I don't care how mature she acts,
yes, ma'am.
there's indication that you're dealing with somebody who's very immature.
Yes, ma'am. And I was immature.
And so where you were going is you were about to blame her for maybe telling you that she was older.
No.
That wasn't what I asked you. I asked you, why is it that, what's wrong about a 21-year-old man having sex with a 13-year-old girl? What is wrong about that?
It's morally unsound. I mean, a 21-year-old should be worried about working and living his or her life, and furthering their adulthood instead of looking back into their childhood by doing that. And I believe that it's severely wrong. It's I've learned my lesson.
How is it wrong for the victim?
It's wrong because she's not mature enough to think on her own, and somebody that's more mature and more older can I would guess think for them. I really wouldn't know how to put it exactly, but think for them and persuade them into doing something that they probably didn't want to do.
What do you think happens when a child, because again, a 13-year-old is a child, what do you think happens when a child is sexually active at such a young age? What do you think happens to that child?
I believe they go on to probably teenage pregnancy or some form of that, or maybe even worse. Maybe it alters their mind state to where they, I don't know, to where they're scared to even do that in the future by not wanting to have an boyfriend or husband, or maybe even it sends them down a darker path into maybe prostitution or something like that.
Drug abuse,
Drug abuse, anything like that. Right. It can alter them in a devastating way.
and yet after the first time when you were convicted, you went right back to having sex with that child.
Yes, ma'am. I understand that it was severely wrong, and I really don't know how to put in words how sorry I am, you know, that I messed over myself and her, you know, but her
Because you,
first, you know.
because you clearly knew the second time that she was just a kid.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
knew that.
Yes, ma'am. But I also think that I wasn't mature at that time. I didn't know what, I was still stuck being around my little brother and my cousin, you know, and they were still teenagers, you know, so I was still on their mind frame. I wasn't doing anything to further my life at that time. I didn't know what it was to be a grown man. The only thing I knew was to be a little boy, and I mean, I feel as though that's the path that I was stuck on at that moment. And you know, I fought myself fully for everything that I'm going through right now.
Have you ever dated someone your own age?
Yes, ma'am. I mean, when I was 16, I mean, I was in
What
a
about in your 20s? What about in your 20s? Did you ever date anybody your own age?
that was the only person that I ever talked to was that person. I didn't have a social life.
And why was that?
I don't know if it was because I chose it or if life chose it for me. I didn't hang out with too many people. If I did hang out with people, it was with my cousin and my brother, and we would go skateboarding or go play football in the field. I wasn't worried about trying to get a job and being grown the only thing that I've ever did that was grown, I tried to join the army and they kicked me out because I guess they said I wasn't I forget exactly what it was for, but I got a discharge from the a non-categorized discharge
Mhm.
in AIT, which was the second phase of basic training whenever you start learning your job. And basically they kicked me out because I couldn't get it together. So apparently they knew I couldn't get it together, and I just never got it together. I wasn't mature to I wasn't thinking on that path.
Have you ever had any kind of mental health or psychological evaluation?
Uh, I was taking medicine for anxiety while I was incarcerated, but I got off of it because I didn't like the way that it made me feel.
Well, when you were out of prison, were you ever diagnosed with any kind of mental health issue? Did you ever receive any kind of evaluation for any kind of mental health condition, even while you're in school?
No, ma'am.
All right. Do you feel, Mr. Rao, that you have an attraction to children sexually?
No, that wasn't the case. At that time, I I met that particular female on social media, and you know, I didn't find out until I actually got in trouble. And then when I did get in trouble, I I don't know, I don't know what I was thinking on the second go round. I really don't. I should have known better, but like I said, I don't think I was in I'm I, I don't know. I really don't. I know now what was wrong about the whole situation, but at that time I don't really think I was thinking.
And in your mind, that child was your girlfriend. Is that what you said?
Yes, ma'am. That's about at that time, yes, ma'am.
There are also some pictures of her on your phone. Some new pictures of her on your phone?
Uh I don't believe that was actually my phone. I think that was actually her phone. But yes,
Well,
ma'am.
it says the investigation produced evidence of child pornography in that the subject had taken several photos of the juvenile victim on his cell phone.
There might have been.
And where is that cell phone now? Was it confiscated?
I believe so, ma'am.
Oh. Well, thank you, Mr. Rao. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Bonner.
Okay, any other questions? Is there someone there that could talk to us about Mr. Rao there at Claiborne?
There's nobody in
No
here.
one's in there with you?
No, sir.
Is there any, we don't have any speakers, I don't believe, is that right?
Yeah, right.
Mr. Rao, is there anything you'd like to say before, to close, before we go to voting?
I appreciate whatever y'all do for me.
Well, thank you very much for your comments. Ms. Renatza, is the panel ready to vote?
I am.
Okay,
Mr. Rao, I'm pleased to know that you've done some reflection and you're thinking about, even just today, thinking about what you did and why it was wrong. I can't vote for your parole today because it bothers me some that you went right back to the same behavior just shortly after you were released or put on probation for the same offense. You do have, as I mentioned, you do have some opposition to your early release. So my vote today is going to be to deny your parole, but I do wish you well when you're released on your full term date.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Jackson?
All right. Likewise, Mr. Rao, I do have some concerns also. And so your risk level is moderate. Even though you've completed sex offender treatment, I'm not sure that you fully understand the seriousness of your offense. And so my vote today is also to deny your early release. And I would encourage you, Mr. Rao, to not allow yourself to be in positions where you have unsupervised contact with juvenile females, and maybe not try to meet someone on social media, because you never know who that person actually is. But those are some choices that you're going to have to make once you're released on your full term date. So I wish you good luck, Mr. Rao.
Mr. Rao, I agree with my colleagues. My vote today is to deny. I would encourage you to continue to work on yourself and try to understand what it is you've done and try to get in touch with yourself and kind of understand what these young women victims go through after someone like you has been with them. So you have 3 votes to deny. Good luck to you, sir. Your parole has been denied today.
All right.
Mr. Marabella, can you please close out?
Yes, we will close out today at Claiborne. It's 12:15. We'll be adjourned.
Now let's unpack this. And I actually I have an update for you. And thank you to Sir Richard. So when I was looking at the old spreadsheet, because this isn't our 2021 spreadsheet, it showed on his Vine that he's incarcerated. I said, that's odd. He's still incarcerated. So I did a Google search on my own. I didn't want to bother Sir Richard. I couldn't find anything. I emailed Sir Richard. I said, it looks like he's incarcerated. 5 minutes later, I get a new spreadsheet. He is locked up. He's locked up in Arkansas. Yes, Arkansas. And it just happened. Failure to register April 24th, 2024. And it does not look like Arkansas is taking it lightly, because it seems that they have a schedule for a trial. So I guess they don't mess around over there. So hey, look, sometimes things come full circle, or maybe it is stupid does what stupid is. What's this? How's it stupid as stupid does? I mean, look, it comes around, and it really is crazy. It really is absolutely insane that he gets locked up. Let's go back and take a blast to the past on this article and just look at this, how insane this is, that he even got like, so he gets locked up for doing this to a 14-year-old, right? And the judge gives him probation because, it's just a child. Who cares? And when he gets out, he goes and does it again, and he only gets a maximum of 8 years? 21-year-old man arrested for allegedly having a sexual relationship with a 14-year-old girl. This man is also a registered offender. Deputies called the blah, blah, blah. Officers said they discovered alone with the girl, which is violation of his probation. He was given probation, a gift. Rue and the alleged victim were taken to the sheriff's for the investigation continued. Detectives learned that the girl involved in vendetta with felony criminal knowledge of a juvenile. So this roach is busted. A judge says, it's just a child, 21, 14. What's the big deal? I'll give you probation. And then he comes out and he does the same thing immediately after. And then he ends up getting out in his full-term date, and it just takes a couple years for him in the state of Arkansas for him to pick up another felony, failure to register, and it looks like it's going to trial. So maybe they're gonna say, you know what, enough is enough. And whew, man, I love the way Miss Bonnie Jackson, the Honorable Judge Jackson, handled this case, but it does blow one's mind when you listen to him try to explain, a way how it happened. It's like, well, the second time, I really don't know. A true predator. But there we have it. There we have the update for you. And if anything else comes up, Sir Richard puts it in his trial notes. We'll put it in this calendar to recheck on this, and we can put a comment and repin it to the top if you're curious. And maybe you're watching this 6 months later and you're curious if you got sentenced or something. But sometimes the hands of time move a little bit slowly when it comes to justice, but sometimes it comes full circle. And it's nice to know that our children are a little bit safer with them locked up over there. And with that, I'll let you go.
The little girl, because that's what she was at 13, was a victim in this case. Why do you feel? Tell me why what you did was wrong.
I feel it was wrong because at first when I met her, I really didn't know. And then
Let me stop you right there, Mr. Rao. A 13-year-old girl, I don't care how mature she acts.
Yes, ma'am.
There's indication that you're dealing with somebody who's very immature.
Yes, ma'am. And I was immature.
And so where you were going is you were about to blame her for maybe telling you that she was older.
No.
That wasn't what I asked